It's a pretty happy afternoon in oil country. A 4-1 victory over the Nashville Predators. 16 straight victories for the Edmonton Oilers. They have reached elite company when it comes to consecutive wins in a National Hockey League regular season. You've got the Pittsburgh Penguins at 17 in a row. Columbus Blue Jackets 16 in a row. And now the Edmonton Oilers at 16 in a row. My goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Gazzola with you. YouTube Trav holding things down back at ESTHQ, and Matt Kassian will be joining us for the show in a couple of minutes' time to break it all down. As always, you can text us 780-218-9999, and then if you're listening on your way home, we highly recommend you text us. If you're watching, get into the nasty chat. The nasty chat already going. People feeling it. Good vibes. Nice way to kick off the weekend. That's for damn sure. If you're an Oilers fan, I said 16 in a row. Is that good? And T. Willison says, whiskey it is. Hell yeah, baby. Dustin says, it's all right. VR Montenegro says, mid at best. Box Pounder says, 16 is okay, I guess. And Dr. Gonzo goes, what do I do with my hands? And Box Pounder does add he wants to see 17. So we shall see if the Oilers can do it on T. Willison's birthday, which is the 6th of February. And all he wants is to see the boys tie the record versus Vegas. Joel says, who's going to say Brown almost had another goal? Yeah, so Vegas will be interesting on the 6th. If you haven't heard, our EST crew, or a good chunk of us, will be down there. I'll be doing the pre- and post-game show from Las Vegas, and we'll see if the Oilers can tie the all-time wins in a row record or consecutive victories record. Wow, indeed. Get in on the inbox, 780-218-9999, and then the nasty chat. Hit the thumbs up on your way in. It's like going over to someone's house. You take off your shoes. Well, with us, you snap that thumbs up, and we appreciate that very much. All right, as we await Cass and his arrival, we'll go through the scoring summary and the game stats as the Oilers pick up another victory, a clean sweep of the month of January. I don't know if this has ever happened. I don't recall it ever happening. Maybe in a shortened month of a season or something along those lines of February. I don't know, but the Oilers perfect in the month of January. And today they cap it all off with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins opening up the scoring, his 12th of the year on the power play. Nice soft hands by Nugent-Hopkins on that goal, and a nice feed from Leon Draisaitl. Conor McDavid, the secondary assist. Give McDavid 45 apples, Draisaitl 33. That goal coming at 7:55. 1-0 Oil after one. In the second period, on the power play, the Oilers go and add another. It's Leon Draisaitl, his 23rd of the season, from McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins. Great passing plays, a little bit of a give and go there. Draisaitl buries it by a hapless Kevin Lankinen. McDavid 46 assists, Nugent-Hopkins 32 assists. That goal coming at 11:39. So 2-0 Oil heading into the third when Conor McDavid banks it off of the back of Kevin Lankinen for his 20th of the year from Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard. That goal coming at 9:12, and that's where you knew this one was over. And yes, even though Colton Sissons would pick up his 13th to break the shutout bid for Stuart Skinner, who had, I thought, a very, very strong game because the Preds did have some chances. I thought Philip Forsberg had some great opportunities, and he hit the post, I think, a couple of times, and then Skinner robbing Evangelista. Skinner getting the better of Forsberg a couple of times, but Sissons does beat him for his 13th from Evangelista and Cole Smith. That goal coming at 13:25 to cut the Oilers' lead to 3-1. But Zach Hyman into the empty net, hustles for it. Leon Draisaitl putting the puck to an area where Hyman busts his butt, gets to it first, and deposits it into the gaping wide cage of the Nashville Predators. 16:41 time of that goal. 4-1 is your final. Game stats from tonight. The Preds outshoot the Oilers 30-21, and they get the better of the Oil on the faceoff dot, 57.7% to 42.3%. The power play for the Oil, 2 for 3 on the night. And then the PK actually having a really solid performance, going 3 for 3. Vinny Desharnais, I thought, was stellar. Standing tall, sprawling out large, getting it done. Got a nice ovation from the crowd, appreciative ovation from the crowd when he sprawled out, blocked the shot, kind of covered up the puck. Players from the Preds are digging away at him, doing everything he can, sacrificing his body to get the win. Hits, officially, 28 apiece. Block shots, 18 for Edmonton, 13 for the Predators. Giveaways, 6 for Edmonton to Nashville's 4. Takeaways, 13 for the Oil to 9 for Nashville. 4-1 is your final. Get those texts in. Any questions, comments, 780-218-9999 if you're listening on your way home from the rink or just out and about. And then if you're watching on the EST YouTube channel, get at us in the nasty chat. Smash that thumbs up button on your way in. We appreciate that so much. All right. I think Cass is good to go. Let's bring in the big man. He switched out his beanie for a really, 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 really nice hat. It says Edmonton Sports Talk in nice gold letters. We have some available. If you go on the Edmonton Sports Talk website, we do have some merch that Awanik brought on as extra that we are selling. And then, by the way, a pop-up shop is being curated by one Matthew Bartholomew Awanik. Let's bring in Matthew Bartholomew Kassian. Cass, your thoughts on the win?
Well, first, these hats are awesome. So
nice.
If you're looking for a new bucket, I'd say make sure you check it out. Make sure you get yours, because there's not going to be too many of them. There's still not that many of them out there. You can be part of a very special club. Thoughts overall on the game? This was a Nashville Predators style of game. I really felt like the Edmonton Oilers throughout the game really had to play with patience. Like it wasn't easy developing. Offense wasn't easy to come by, and it wasn't because the Oilers were playing poorly, but Nashville has some defensemen that can play, and their forwards generally try to play a very steady game. They don't take a ton of risk. They try to maybe look for opportunities to capitalize, but they're not an overly generative team, which means they try to play solid defense, and they play structurally, back pressure hard and do a lot of good things. And I thought Edmonton did a great job of just, go back to those words, maturity and patience, for a good chunk of this game, where it was like, they were just patient. They didn't overextend themselves typically. They didn't try to reach to too much. And at the end of the day, the offense was there. At the end of the day, not even 5-on-5, your power play gets a couple goals, and that ends up really being the difference in this one, because 5-on-5, Nashville locked it down for a good portion of the game, but your power play gets you up a couple, and then eventually, you have McDavid doing McDavid things, and Zach Hyman closes it out, which is great. 16 in a row, Tommy. 16 in a row.
Yeah, incredible to say it. And actually, on my way from the arena back to the EST Satellite Studios, aka my office here, right outside the Ice District, talked to a few people who were like, boy, it just seems like they can't stop winning, and just a very ho-hum. Yep, they just got the job done. And I said on the way up in the elevator in my building, I'm like, they're playing good defense, which is just weird to say, because I don't know how many times I've been able to say it about this Oilers team consistently in a decade and a half of being around the club. And Matt, it's impressive. It's impressive,
absolutely
the way they can buckle things down.
Yeah, no, and just even talking to a couple of the guys yesterday post practice. I just not asking them questions, but encouraging them. I wasn't asking them what they thought the difference was, but just saying, hey, you guys are playing fantastic, just locking it down for the most part. And what's amazing, well, it is amazing. What's amazing and wonderful about watching the way that they're able to lock it down now is this is something they didn't even do last year. Like when they traded for Ekholm and their defense immediately improved, and it did with that trade. That was so massive, and still is so massive for this team, because Ekholm just steady back there. They still were trying to outgun opponents frequently.
Yeah.
Not every night, but frequently. Like even they had that that run of, what was it? Was it 14-1 or like 12-1? I can't remember exactly what it was.
14-1 stretch there, and then the last 20 they were what, like, or last 21 games was 18-2-1.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember the exact, but it was close to that anyways. You know, there were some games they played good defense, but we still would talk about how this team couldn't win a 2-1 game, you know, couldn't win a 1-0 game. Like they really struggled in that regard, like where it's just, you know, they couldn't put the guns away when it was time to put the guns away. And in this one, and a couple times over this streak, what I just have truly appreciated is just how they have been able to say, hey, we don't need to win 8-1. You know, 2-1's good enough. Now they got more than that, which is great. But you could see stylistically, it's just like they weren't like they knew they had enough goals to win the hockey game. Now they didn't go into a shell and not try to score goals and completely not be themselves. But
good point.
You don't teams. I don't like when teams do that, when it's like, oh, we're up a goal, now we're just gonna
sit back,
yeah, and just kind of hope we don't get scored on. It's not that. But it's just, we're not going to take unnecessary risk into our game to try to generate offense. And they've managed to, and I'm going to, you know, give a massive thumbs up to their top end guys in McDavid and Draisaitl. You know, Hyman always has been a guy that works in both ends of the ice. So, I mean, he gets a thumbs up too, for sure. But, you know, those two guys in particular, where they have done that really, really well. And that's a maturity thing. And that's a patience thing. I mean, we use those two words frequently. We'll continue to use them, but it's been really, really impressive.
Cass, it's as examples of what you mean. It's no, you know, ill-advised pinches in the offensive zone, no bad turnovers of passes at either blue line, no high danger, high risk plays that could cost you a odd man rush the other way. And then no dumb passes out of your own zone. I just wanted to say stupid plays in your own zone.
Big oopsies.
They've done a good job of minimizing that, and I think that's what you're alluding to. So I just wanted to point that out. 780-218-9999 and the nasty chat, and I'm going to get to a few of those right away, but we're going to talk about Corey Perry making his debut as an Oiler. I will go through his stat line first, and then we'll get Cass's assessment of the veteran who has just joined the Orange and Blue. No points for Perry. He did have a couple of hits as well as a couple of shots, 12:44 time on ice. I noticed him a few moments, and I appreciated he made that really nice play to Dylan Holloway, who didn't look like he was expecting it, and it just kind of caught him late. And then there's a few times, like his first shift, goes to the net and creates
that was wonderful. Wasn't that great?
I was like, oh, that's what he does. He's a jerk.
That was great. I love that.
So what did you think, Cass, of what we saw from number 90 in Orange and Blue?
Yeah, I thought, you know, more good than struggle, which is a good thing. You know, first game back, it is tough. And I know, you know, skating with the London Junior Knights, and, you know, he's been on ice and now practicing with an NHL team. It's still tough to jump right in. And I thought he did all right. Did some things, like you said, the pass to Holloway was beautiful. Great play. You know, love that he was at the net. There was one play, and it was in, and he followed it up with a good play later in the shift. But one play in the offensive zone, he kind of got spun around a little bit, and I was like, that's kind of just I would say a crispness issue, where it was like, you know, probably not, but maybe caught a little bit flat-footed and unaware from a speed standpoint, where you're just not used to games being at that speed. With that being said, you know, he back checks into his own zone and made a pretty nice play to, you know, force a turnover ultimately, or to gain possession of the puck back for the Oilers. So, you know, it was, as I said, a lot more good than bad. Not like he was utterly spectacular, but it was solid for a first game back after a long break. It was solid, and his lungs are probably going to be feeling it today with 12 minutes. So get on the bike, flush him out.
Flush it out. The lactic acid. Dr. Gonzo via the nasty chat says 100% didn't minimize those issues, but a W is a W. Cass? Or is Dr. Gonzo being very meticulous?
Yeah, I thought I would disagree. It wasn't a mistake-free game, so I'll give you that. It wasn't a mistake-free game. It wasn't a perfect game. But and Tommy, maybe you saw it differently, so feel free to say that, or Trev, you know, if you saw it differently, feel free to say so. but it was less perimeter and they were throwing less pucks away.
Yeah.
And to me, that for them, like that's the risk part of the game, because when they're putting too much risk in with the high risk, high reward plays where it's like, well, yeah, if this gets through, you're scoring a goal. But if it doesn't get through, the other team's jumping back with an odd man rush or with all kinds of speed, and you're going to put your defenseman in a bad situation. And I don't think that was as prevalent tonight. Not as prevalent tonight. So, again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I saw it.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. Cass, I'm with you. I'll reiterate that. Jim loves the mountains in the nasty chat says it was strange seeing Perry in the Oilers silks for the first time.
Yeah,
I agree.
Bit. Yeah, it was a little bit different.
It was weird. There are a couple of comments I want to get to, and this one says defensively, okay. Why were D-men pitching up 3-zip with less than 10 to play? That's from Big Jack. I don't know. I thought their timing on most of their pinches today were all right.
It didn't feel like there was too many unnecessary pinches.
Yeah.
Like there was no 50-50 pinches where it's like, well, I might get this, I might not. Most of the pinches, I thought it was, they had a pretty reasonable chance of causing something, or they knew they had support coming back. So it's like you have players back, and you have a really good chance of getting the puck. So you push it in. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that.
All right, let's go to Brad from Crossfield. Says, big take. I know there's lots of reasons the Oilers are on the streak they're on, but two stand out to me. Skinner and penalty kill, next level. 3 for 3 on the PK. Stuart Skinner stopping all but one shot that he faced today and making some great saves. He did get lucky with a couple of posts as well, Cass, which is fine.
And one of them he got a piece of, I thought. Yeah. It goes off of him. So, I mean, that's a save. You got enough of it to redirect it away from the net that it hits the post. So, yep, a little bit. Sure. As Joaquin Gage has frequently said, and probably would say here again, goalies don't care. That means they would say that means we took everything away. You didn't have any other holes. You didn't have any else you could shoot. So you hit the post. You didn't beat them ultimately because the puck didn't go in the net. That's maybe a little goalie talk. Where
total goalie talk.
That's how they sort it out in their head, and anyone that played forward is like, yeah, I beat him, I just hit the post. But sure, you gotta get a little bit of help from the iron, but work as we talked about earlier in the season when they were losing and they weren't getting the bounces. It always is and always will be. You work for your bounces.
Yeah.
End of the day, you work for your bounces, and did they get a couple tonight? Sure. But did they do enough defensively? Did they do enough offensively to earn that? I think they did.
Gager would say that. And as you described it, I heard his voice in my head saying it. So well done. Well done, Gager. Okay, 780-218-9999. This one from Shags. Shags says, super impressed with Skinner's composure. No overreactions. His calmness is fueling the team. This one from Dirty Curdy says, I love the worm, effective depth, Hollywood getting more confident every shift. Tommy, to recall the languish of the post games and therapy needed when the Oilers were 2-9-1. You guys deserve this success more than anyone. Love seeing the focus on the bench. Even when the game was in hand, there is a bigger goal in mind. Let's set the record after the break and go after the Pacific. Dirty Curdy, a happy Dirty Curdy tonight. I like it, Dirty Curdy.
Yeah,
lots of text coming in. Mike in Thunder Bay says, make it 16. Skinner was outstanding once again. McDavid with another of his signature goals off the goalie's back. Draisaitl with point number 800. That is worth noting. Thank you very much, Mike in Thunder Bay. This team cannot lose. The Oilers are going to be fired up when they play Vegas. I hope everyone enjoys the break. Nothing can ruin this good mood. Mike in Thunder Bay. Lots of good vibes around the district and downtown these last couple of games for sure, especially Thursday night after the game. Went out for a social sparkler in one of the restaurants nearby, and the vibes were really, really good. All right, speaking of good times and good vibes, let's get in YouTube. Trev, how you feeling after that one? What'd you think of the win?
Yeah, another day, another win. It's I don't even know what to think at this point, boys. It's kind of crazy, and I said that at 15-14, it doesn't seem to, man. Like, I don't know, were they kind of playing with fire at times, maybe, but they're just so calm and composed, and it's so impressive. I like Corey Perry. I thought that he could have got a point right out of the gate there. That would have been pretty cool. Dylan Holloway wasn't expecting that, but. Yeah, they go into the break in the pre-game. I said I'd like to see 110% effort from the boys. I thought, and I don't know if that was the case, but they got the job done. Stuart Skinner was just phenomenal again, and if it wasn't for the late goal, I probably would have gave him the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. But Leon Draisaitl, the top line was just incredible. So it's crazy. The vibes are great, and it's insane.
It is insane. It is insane. I want to jump into Steve French in the nasty chat.
Go for it.
To continue just with this and with the good vibes. He says the penalty kill has been unreal, like 98% in the last 25. Insane. It has been insane. It's just crazy that it's jumped up to 8th. It might even be 7th now after tonight in the league.
Maybe.
I'd have to check that. That may have moved them up.
I'll take a look.
Just absolutely disgusting. Where they just have not that Nashville doesn't have a great power play, or just very average power play, but the Killers just get the job done. And you pointed out it takes everybody. And you pointed out Vinny Desharnais and the way the crowd reacted to basically eating a puck and then getting, pitchforked about 15 times before the referees actually blew the whistle.
Yep.
And that's what it takes. That type of mentality. I mean, I'm glad he got a loud, roarous cheer. And you could see in his face, that wasn't very comfortable. And I can tell you, that's not comfortable and that's not fun, but he was willing to get the job done, and the penalty killers have done a great job with it. So just to, tack it on YouTube, Trev, to what you were saying about just how insane and amazing this has been. And it's kind of like, well, when does this end? Because, the penalty kill is now just firing on all cylinders. Today, the power play was firing away. And so it's been great. It's been so much more fun. And it's almost like the opposite problem, Tommy, whereas like before when they were losing everything, it's like, what do we even talk about? Because they just suck so bad. And now it's almost like everything's firing so well on all cylinders, and it's like, what do we even talk about? Because they're playing so good. It's hard to nitpick and to try to be, pull out things that they can improve. And obviously we can, but it's been absolutely insane and wonderful.
They have not updated the power play stats yet. Edmonton coming into the game tonight at 82.7% total. That was 8th place. They're 0.1% behind Boston, who holds down 7th. Dallas is at 82.9. The Rangers 83.3. And then tonight the Oilers go 3 for 3 on the PK, which is rock solid. And I know we can nitpick, and I'm going to get to some texts that have little points of contention or concern, or areas that they would see like the Oilers to improve a bit on. And where are they? They're getting drowned out by the good ones, obviously the positive ones. Let's see if I can find some of these texts that
tells you all you need to know right there.
I know. Okay, we had the one from Big Jack said defensively okay. I did see one that said Nugent Hopkins and Kane have no chemistry. I believe that was the gist of it.
Yeah. But to say that second line wasn't great today, and that maybe you might want to, coming out of the break, look to go back to the original lines. I'm not opposed to that. I don't think that second line was great today. Now, they weren't horrible, they weren't bad, but they didn't generate a ton. Now maybe just an off night, or maybe they just weren't feeling it. But I'm okay with that critique. They weren't bad. They were just kind of they were average. But to sit and to say, hey, that could be something that we might want to have switched up. Yeah, I mean, I'd listen to that conversation.
Okay, I found one that not really negative. It's just like, hey, let's look at some areas of concern here. It says, hey boys, 16 in a row. My only concern is, why did Noblock split up the lines that were working so well? What was the reason to shuffle the deck? Also, Kane looks uninspired. Man, I think the line changes really messed him up mentally. Cass, what would you say to that texter for those thoughts on Noblock splitting up the lines that were working well? Remember, he talked about giving them a jolt because it wasn't going well on Tuesday. And then how about Kane looking uninspired? I thought he had a couple of okay looks today. I thought that line was
They were average.
adequate.
Yep. Adequate. Yep. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say uninspired, and I don't know if it would be like he's not happy to be playing with those guys, but to say, they haven't had the best chemistry. And it was a line that I was kind of excited about, and they had a really good third in the Columbus game. And I was excited about them because I'm like, well, with Fogle and with Kane, two guys that can really get into the forecheck. You add some of the smarts with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and maybe there's something there. Now, it wasn't a great game from them again against Chicago, and for the most part, again, the team wasn't fantastic that game. So I'm okay again listening to that to say, and I think someone came in the nasty chat and said that he liked Brown better when he was playing with Kane, and again to look at that and say, okay, well, maybe with some more speed and a little bit of a different look, and maybe not two guys that are the dig out the puck guys. Like, could it be a better line? Sure. I mean, Tommy, I would think that post-break Noblock goes back to the other lines. Now, maybe he doesn't, but to me, that kind of seems like a natural break to do that, like a good time to do it. You have some time in between games, have a practice or two. So we'll obviously have to see. We'll have to see what happens with that, but I would not be shocked if Noblock goes back to the old lines.
Do you think, Cass, I know, kind of final thought before you call it a night here, do you think he did this, get the nuclear option, McDavid, Draisaitl, all that, to kind of get them through and that final push past this game today and then the one on Thursday? Do you think that this was like hey, I need to pull out some stops here just to get us through to make it happen? Is that the mindset, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think the mindset was exactly what he said it was, which is, I saw some things I didn't like in our game. Yeah, we won a lot in a row, but I'm going to change things up a little bit. And I think he did it mindfully. Like, it wasn't like a snap panic decision. It probably was something he'd been thinking about, of like, okay, well, if we have a stretch where we're not playing well, what are my options? What am I going to do? How am I going to try to put some fire into this group, or just change the dynamic a little bit, short of like pulling a goaltender, which you haven't needed to do. How am I going to shock the system a little bit? And the easiest way to do that is to change the lines up, and going to the nuclear option when you have guys that are playing center, and a player like Dylan Holloway, who's, I thought, was good again today. Like, he's been really, really good since he's been here. It gives you the ability to do that. Now, is it what we want to see all the way down the stretch? No. Is it what he wants to see all the way down the stretch? Probably not. I mean, he probably doesn't want to keep the nuclear option together for all time here down this stretch. But to say, hey, we got a couple games before a break, we need a little bit of a change up, we need to get a little bit of a fresh look, and we want to keep this thing rolling. I mean, to me, it wasn't. Well, I mean, Tommy, they've won all the games, so I can't say that it's a bad decision. I can't say that it's a wrong decision, because they keep winning.
It worked. It's the Oilers and the Golden Knights, February 6th. That is the next time we'll be on for the Oil Stream pregame show. Cass, fantastic work all day today, and we'll catch up with you next week when you're in for Two Guys and a Goalie.
Absolutely. Make sure you get your hats, and make sure you smash that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up, and anyone that's checking out the All-Star game, have fun, and we'll talk with you soon.
I like it. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, sporting the cap, modeling it for everybody, and good stuff from Cass tonight as the Oilers win it 4-1 over the Nashville Predators. All right, let's get to some of the nasty chat. Let's get some of the text going here. YouTube, Trev, have you been keeping an eye on the nasty chat and the inbox, or you've been watching for clips?
Yeah, I've been looking for clips. I haven't really, but from the most part, I glance over a little bit, and just, lots of positive energy, which I'm happy to see.
I love it. Let's get to a few of these. Canadian Minion says Vinny D has been awesome this year. Yeah, he's definitely taken a big step. Mark says, anyone know any travel agents throwing together a record-breaking trip to Anaheim? I keep hearing from people, like running into them around the rink or just around town, saying, I'm going on this trip. I'm going down to Vegas, and then I'm going to rent a car, and I'm going to go to Anaheim and LA. It's a great time to do it when it's colder here. And people, a lot of oil country heading down to potentially see a record tying game. And maybe we'll see. Vegas is a good team. A record breaking Oilers team, maybe, by the time they roll around to play against the Ducks on the 9th. So it's going to be interesting. 9 days between games for the Oilers. We do have the All-Star break coming up. A couple of Oilers headed there, and McDavid and Draisaitl. Zach Hyman, who scored his 30th today, should be an All-Star. But alas, that didn't happen. In his hometown, that would have been great. It would have been great. Let's go to the nasty chat a little bit more. The Digital Warrior says, third line, definitely noticeable. Could become a hard line to play against. Digital Warrior, I was watching them today, and I was thinking, they might have something there. Ahmed reminds everyone Kane is not 100%. This break will do wonders for him. That's a very good point. Dell says the Oilers Stanley Cup odds improved to plus 700. Nutsy Dielson getting in on the action says, now that they are in a better position in the standings, do you think Noblock is testing lines to see what he has to play with if he needs to shake it up in the playoffs? Yeah, potentially. I mean, he's done some juggling and shuffling this past week. He's had some tweaks here and there. I think so. I think that's part of the experiment, if you will. I don't know if he's going all mad scientist or anything like that, but I think he's taking note, and I think the coaching staff is trying to see what's working, what's not working. We know that the nuclear option is, break glass in case of emergency type of thing, and he went to it this week, and it did work as the Oilers put together 3 wins this week. So definitely probably is a little bit of an experiment there for Chris Noblock. I'll go into the inbox, 780-218-9999. Dirk says, Tommy, another one thanks to Skinner. This streak is still going largely on his back. Beautiful to see. Thanks from Dirk. P.S. Flames suck. Go Blackhawks. That one from Dirk, as Skinner now has 12 straight victories, which is a new franchise record. Fantastic. Good stuff from Stuart Skinner. I do want to update you on out-of-town scores. It was has been a busy, and continues to be a busy Saturday around the National Hockey League. Scores that are already in the books. Boston 6-2 over Philadelphia. You got the Dallas Stars, who welcomed in the Washington Capitals. They win at 5-4 in OT. The Oilers 4-1 winners over Nashville. Buffalo 5-2 over San Jose at the Shark Tank. You've got Arizona and Carolina coming up right away in Carolina. Then the Ottawa Senators host the New York Rangers. Pittsburgh welcomes in the Montreal Canadiens. Tampa hosts New Jersey. The Leafs visit the Jets, and then the Islanders go toe-to-toe on Long Island with the Panthers. Detroit gets the Golden Knights tonight. Minnesota welcomes in Anaheim. Calgary gets the Blackhawks at the Saddle Dome, and then Vancouver winds up the night with the Blue Jackets in town. As for standings, really quickly, I know there's still some games to be played, but the Oilers up to 59 points on the season on this 16-game heater. Through 45 games, 29-15-1 is the record. The Golden Knights 5 points up, I should say, on the Oilers through 49 games. So the Oilers with 4 games in hand on Vegas. Vegas playing better lately, 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've rattled off 2 straight wins, and the Oilers and the Golden Knights do clash a couple more times. I think 3 more times this season. And we'll see if the Oilers can make up some ground on the Golden Knights, all the while tying an NHL record. And that should be a great game on the 6th of February. The Canucks 69 points through 48 games, but Edmonton right there. And the important thing, too, and I think it's just as valuable as climbing the standings, is you're burying the LA Kings right now. The Oilers are 6 points up on the Kings. LA 2-5-3 in its last 10. They've dropped their last 2 games. And then the Predators, that's another 2 points that you go up on them. In case things go sideways, in case you end up in a wild card chase, you're 6 points up on Nashville. The Blues 1 point back of the Kings, and the Preds with 52 points. The Blues playing much better lately. 4 wins in a row for them. The coach Texan says, Kane looked uninspired. Stop it. He has moved around. He is who he is. Stop trying to guess a player's character just to look for flaws. He is a valuable member. He will be there for the Oilers. This, like asking, Leon, why are you so pissy? Let's get off of Kane's back. That's from the coach. And Ahmed said it earlier too. Kane is not 100%. We can say that with certainty, and the 9 days should help him out. Donnie M says, TG, Cass, great rundown, especially of the 3 posts for the Preds tonight. New hat with the EST microphone from the studio might look great instead of current lettering. Donnie M, I think we might be looking at an EST, like just the 3 letters logo, maybe Tube Socks. I think Tube Socks has worked on one already, but we have not made a decision. And we need to get EST top of mind. So when you say EST, people think, oh, Edmonton Sports Talk. We're getting there. We're getting there. The subscribers are going up. The listenership continues to grow. People are talking good stuff. And that is a good point. But we might be getting to that point. Have you seen that, Trev? The 3-letter logo?
I have not seen that one, Tommy.
I've seen it. Tube Sock sent it over my way. It looks really, really nice. But we'll work with what we've got going on right now, and it's pretty good. But I don't disagree with you, Donnie M. Show. All right, let's see this one from Oily Sink. What do you think of this one, Trev? When does Skinner get Vezina consideration?
I don't know. That's kind of like one of those things. A lot of it really has to do with just the full season, right, Tommy? Like you see it with the Jack Adams with coaches. It's very seldom. It has to be a full season, and unfortunately, like I mean, if he keeps going at this pace, I think he might be in conversation. I don't think he'd be a finalist, but. Yeah, I mean, just the start of the season, it still is like he's still playing catch up essentially, and that's unfortunate. But I mean, it comes from stats, right? And if he can keep putting up the stats, which they've just continued to climb, you know, you could look at it at that sense, like, oh, he has as many games played, and his numbers, you know, in the long run are better than a lot of the others. So, you know what? Maybe I'll change my mind. Yeah, you know what? If he keeps going like he is. Yeah, he might be a finalist. Maybe.
He's been excellent lately, and now people finally hopping on board with the, hey, he's stealing you some games here and there. Team defense has been better. Has it been perfect? No. Have they minimized or limited the amount of dumb mistakes that they were making earlier in the season? 100%. Good combination. You get the backtracking from the forwards, working with the defensemen, getting the goaltending. It's clicking. It's clicking, and Stuart Skinner certainly reaping the rewards of that, improving to 23-9-1 this season, and that was his first ever game. Hard to believe that was his first ever game against the Nashville Predators, but he was rock solid. All right, so too was this next player who had himself a decent little night, picking up 3 points, a goal and 2 assists, +2. Also had a power play marker, as well as 1 shot. So he scored on his only shot in 1948 time on ice. It is Leon Draisaitl. Let's go to the locker room and hear from number 29, picking up point number 800.
16 in a row. I mean, I know that you guys kind of downplays the streak, but what do you make of that number now you've done it?
Yeah, it's special, of course. You know, it takes a lot of good efforts, a lot of good games to get to that number. I think we've been a bit sloppy the last 3, but obviously had some individual performances that you know got us the win. So you need that sometimes too. So it's been a great stretch for us.
How about Stuart Skinner? Just this, I know the team's on this run, but he's on a run too. So I mean, the goaltending position has all that pressure with it, so there's that focus. Yeah,
he's been great. You know, can't remember the last time you know he gave up more than 2. So it's been a while, and hopefully you know stays that way, continues that way. And yeah, he's been great for us.
Pretty remarkable transformation from the start of the season. Like back then, you knew you were better than you were playing, but did you have any inkling that you guys would be this good?
Well, I knew we were a good team. You know, when you're lacking confidence, that's more than 50% right there, right? So that's tough to come back from. But obviously, we found it. Yeah, just looking to continue it now.
What does a break potentially do for when you're on a rip like this?
Yeah, just you know, gets guys you know an extra week maybe to get healthy or get some rest and you know recharge some energy. So yeah, we'll take it and move on.
You guys haven't spoken about the numbers and talked about it a lot. The next game is to tie the all-time NHL record. Coming back, you're going to Vegas, a real hot rival. Tell us. That sounds like
it's going to be it's going to be a great game. I think both teams are aware of what's happening, what's going on. So we're just looking to continue to play our game, get better each and every day, and get better from game to game. And obviously we want to continue this streak, but more importantly, we're just taking it game by game and trying to get better.
The fact that you guys have not allowed 2 goals a game, or more than 2 goals a game, so long, does that make it more impressive? Is that you're doing it?
Yeah. We've been doing it the right way. Like I said, I think we've been a little sloppy for a couple periods here and there over the last couple of games, but we cleaned it up when we needed to in the right moments. And all around, obviously a incredible streak. Hopefully we can keep it going.
The fear would be that 9 days you guys lose your mojo or cool off or anything like that. Is there anything to that?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully not. But we know what's at stake, and we're still in no position to take our foot off the gas here. So just looking to continue.
How much do you enjoy the All-Star game in a 16-game heater?
Yeah, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good couple days. Yeah.
Good couple days for sure in Toronto. Party should be great. Our good friend David Pagnotta, who you can catch on Hello Hockey every Saturday, throwing some parties as the fourth period tends to do. I know the players like to enjoy those, and I think it'll be a great weekend in Toronto. Regardless, Draisaitl and All-Star yet again, as expected, for the Edmonton Oilers, and 14 games in a row now, Trev, where they have allowed 2 or fewer goals. Unreal.
Yeah,
that's Oilers hockey now.
It's crazy to think because, and it's honestly nice because at the beginning of the season, all you see is, this team can't defend, this team is this, but you're starting to see. They weren't. Right, like, and it's true, right? There was a reason why people were believing and saying that, but it's nice. Like now, the comments and the talk is, wow, like this team is, actually learning how to keep the puck out of their net, and it's led to a 16-game heater. It's crazy. So it's nice to see. It's kind of like it. Just looking at the Winnipeg Jets, right? They were kind of doing the same thing. They had a huge stretch where they didn't allow more than 2 goals, and the Oilers are in the same conversation as that. So it's crazy.
This text from Calvin Park says, how is Draisaitl and Hyman was not? Hyman with a lot of heart, determination. Good job on the empty netter. He picks up the lone point, and Draisaitl had the 3-point night, scored a nice goal, obviously off a great feed from McDavid. And I'm assuming has to do with the point totals. So Draisaitl with 3 tonight. Hyman with just the 1. McDavid also chipping in with 4, a goal and 3 assists. So the big dogs get the job done, but they did get some secondary help as well. 780-218-9999. Donnie also adds, okay, Tom, let's get real on these players. Time off Mexico vacays. Others, will they be in game shape? All other teams have a week away from hockey, especially Vegas. I think they'll be okay. I mean, they were sloppy coming out of the break last year, but I think they have extra motivation with this current streak to try to tie the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that should keep them focused. Should being the key word there. Trev, any other audio? Yeah, we do have some. Do you want to get to that?
Yeah, let's absolutely do it. With his first Oilers game under the belt, let's go to Corey Perry.
It's good. I thought, I had no issues, and that's why I put all the work in to get back to this spot, and I felt good.
You got a couple of warm responses from the crowd. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, it's nice. I heard it during the national anthem, I think it was, and I saw it. But it's been like that all week. It's been a warm welcome, and I'm excited to be here.
You're playing online with a couple of young guys there, and Ryan McLeod and Dylan Holloway. How would you like playing with 2 guys who have a lot of skill and a lot of speed? Yeah, they create a lot of things out there, and I thought we actually had a little bit of chemistry early on. Only one practice together, but for the most part, we were talking quite a bit on the bench, on the ice. So that helps, and just trying to figure out where to be at the right time.
You step onto a bench with a team that's got 15 in a row now, 16. What do you maybe observe about the way they're handling themselves? And, it's surprising that the streak is where it is, considering some of what you were seeing.
Yeah, they they take a lot of pride in their D zone first and work their way out. That's one thing on the bench they're talking about a lot is make sure you got the third man high and come back in your own zone and get that puck out. It's then they have to reset. So that's one thing I noticed, and I mean Skins played pretty well back there. He made some big saves for us.
Is there any value in getting this one game in before the break?
Yeah, that was kind of the goal when I signed. Is try to get one in, and that. And then what do we have 10 days off now or whatever it is? So yeah, it was nice to get one and go from there.
What's it like? I'm sorry. What's it like being on a team with McDavid and watching him on your team as opposed to having to play against him?
I mean, it helps. I mean, yeah, he's a pretty tremendous player.
Were you kind of aware of the streak, or did you? I know you were skating, just kind of prepping for return. But is that something you were watching, or more once you signed? Hey, you guys have won X amount of games.
No, when you're not playing and you got a lot of time in your hands, you kind of know what's going on in the hockey world. I watch a lot of games, and yeah, it was, it's not easy stepping into that situation, but I enjoyed it and just keep going.
How do you handle the break? Just given, most years you can probably just take that break along with everybody else, but you have to be on it a little bit more this time. Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I'll be doing a little bit extra than I normally would. Just playing one game doesn't mean anything. Especially at my age, I keep up with those little young guys I got on my line. So as they say, they're speedsters. So so I'll take it one day at a time and come back next week and just get ready to go again.
Weird to get cheered here.
What's that?
I said weird to get cheered here as opposed to all the years of food and whatever else you've heard, probably.
Yeah, I can see that probably on every team I've gone to. It's a little different when you hear a cheer in the building, but it's always nice.
Was it your plan on your first shift to make sure you ended up on your rear end in the crease?
Of course. Yeah, that's. I had to make a statement somehow, and but yeah, as it goes on, you know where I'll be.
Yes, indeed. Corey Perry there in his first game as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. If you didn't catch his stat line, no goals, no assists. He did have a couple of hits and a couple of shots, so 2 and 2 in each column there, and then 12:44 time on ice. And as Shaggy pointed out, and we talked about earlier in the game, his first shift wound up in the crease on his butt, going to the net off a face-off. So that's Corey Perry and what he does best at this stage in his career. Some nice plays. I really do think he made a nice play to Dylan Holloway on that pass from behind the net. Holloway didn't quite expect it and didn't get the stick down in time, but maybe they start to build some chemistry, read off of each other. I thought that line had some good moments, Trev.
Yeah, I think in the first period, that was probably one of the, they were flashy. I was surprised with how flashy they were. They were making quick passes going into the O zone, and they were just reading each other really well. And he was even surprised in the interview there. He's like, I think for one practice, we had decent chemistry. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep that line together. And, all things, from the eye test, what we just saw, I expect that it will continue to do the same. So pretty good to see. And I thought, for really, missing 2 months there almost, Perry, he fit right in. So, and that's he's not the Perry of old, but that's a creative play that he made, right? And we know the speed might not be there, but he's still got the brains, right? And that's kind of what that was in that play that we saw.
Timber Woodsman texts in, says, I'm late to the show. I just finished the game. LFG 90-71-55 line is going to get some goals the rest of the year. The total team defense has been amazing. That text from Timber Woodsman. I like the enthusiasm, and there were some good signs there, like Trev alluded to. Trev, we go inside the Oilers locker room one more time. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it up. Let's hear from the captain, Conor McDavid, after today's 4-1 victory.
First shift as an Oiler, and he ends up kind of on his rear end in the crease. No surprise there.
No, we've seen that before, obviously, here in Edmonton, but that's the game he's going to bring. Hard nose, gets himself to the net, keeps pucks alive. I thought he was real good for obviously having some time off, and I thought he looked real good, dangerous, made some great plays. I thought that whole line played really well.
Now going into the break, can you reflect on this run you guys are on and how impressive it is and how things have gone your way?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think Obviously, it's a great run. I feel like the goalies have played great. I thought this past week wasn't our best hockey, and we found a way to get 3 wins, which is a great sign. We've gotten great goaltending. The back end's been good. The kill's been amazing. Those are all good things.
Is that what's impressive about this? Is that you guys are doing it defensive on it. You haven't given up more than 2 goals in the game or something like that. Is that what makes this run special or impressive for you?
I think what makes it special is it's been everybody. It's been everybody all together, pulling on the rope. It hasn't been, 1 or 2 guys. It's been the entire group. Whether it's DR scoring a big goal, a kill, killing one off late in the third, or someone doing whatever. It's been everybody pulling on the rope, and that's what good groups do, and we've shown that over the course of the stretch.
Conor, this is one of those games where you get 2 quick power play goals. It hasn't always been the last little while, but you made them pay.
Yeah, it's nice to score a few on the power play. It's been an area that has probably been our weakest through this stretch. And we know that our power play can change games. It can be a huge asset for us, as we've showed over the past few years. So if we can get that going at a high level and keep our game where it's at, it only adds to the group.
I know it's a few days away. You're not going to dwell all week on this game in Vegas, but you're going into Vegas, a big divisional game. There's a huge record on the line. It should be kind of fun. What do you think?
Yeah, it should be fun. We obviously owe Vegas a good game in their building. It's a fun building to play in. We love playing there. We know the firsthand the environment. And they're a great team that's also playing really, really well. So it's something to look forward to at the end of the break.
Yes, indeed. February 6th, the Oilers and the Golden Knights, Edmonton looking to tie an NHL record, 17 straight wins. They have 16 after a 4-1 victory over the Nashville Predators tonight. It's Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev with you here on the Oil Stream Postgame Show on EST. Conor McDavid, by the way, you just heard from him there. A goal and 3 assists, +2, 3 hits, 5 shots on goal, 19-14 time on ice, 50%. On the dot is the captain's stat line. Yep, he's going to have a good time in Toronto at the All-Star game. Yep, looking forward to playing the Golden Knights, and it is a fun building to experience the game, and I'm sure it's a fun building to play a game in, especially if you're walking away with a pair of points at the end of the night. Trev, where are we going next, pal?
We are going to hear from the netminder of today's game, Stuart Skinner. Here he is.
A lot in front of you, but you're getting your job done well too, Stu. Just a thought on offensively what you guys are continuing to do here.
Yeah, I think it's been really impressive. It's obviously been a lot of fun being able to kind of be on the back end of those things. Like how you saw tonight, we did everything we could to keep the puck out of our net. You saw it in the second period when Vinny dove for it, and it was very noticeable then. But even the small little details that we're doing defensively has been making a huge difference.
Your game, Stu, can you just maybe comment on your game and how well you feel right now and how well you're playing?
Yeah, I feel great. It's been a interesting year, ups and downs, and we still got a lot more to go. I mean, we still got 3 months ahead of us here before we, have real bullets fly at us. So, hoping so. Anyways, so we got a lot more work to do, and I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing, keep on working on my game every day. Yeah, that's about it.
What's the sense of this streak? Because a lot of people are thinking, man, you guys may never lose again. Like, you guys are getting the breaks, you're getting saves, you're getting contributions up and down the lineup. What's been the sense of the streak?
Yeah, with the amount of games we have left, I'm guessing we're probably going to lose again. But I mean, the way things are going. Carey Price said this one time actually in an interview. He said that it's never as bad as it is, and it's really never as good as it is either. And that's super true. It seems like we can never lose again. It seems like we're on top of the world, but there's still a lot of things that we need to dial in on the ice. And I mean, those are the opportunities. Like, it's nice that we're winning and things are going well, but there's still a lot of things that we need to keep getting better at, especially when we're trying to get somewhere.
What's the value in you guys having that confidence and stepping on the ice every game, thinking you're going to win, going into the third period close, thinking you're going to win?
Yeah, it's been massive. I was actually talking to a few of the guys. Like every time we go into the third period, it feels like I essentially get nothing on me, and we just kind of take over the game. Whether we're down one, up one, going into the third period, we just do a great job. So it's always a nice feeling when you get through the first two periods and it's a really tight game. Going into the third, you kind of you got a little bit more swagger going into the third period just because you know that the guys are going to be coming out. So, but I also believe that we've been doing that pretty well for all three periods. So it's been a lot of fun.
How are you going to kind of strike the balance between getting a little rest and relaxation and keeping your game sharp over this break here?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I do. I'm not too sure yet. Me and my family are gonna go to get some sun, and yeah, I'm just gonna relax for sure the next 3 days, and then kind of see what happens after that. Maybe I'll play around at golf. Who knows?
Stu, how well are you seeing the play before they have like shot the slot or the power play in the first three, where you got it wide open?
Yeah, that was a great play. It's especially on the power play. It's difficult to kind of anticipate what's going to happen just because they have so many plays that they could potentially make. That's why it's so important how my D play it, and I think they really helped me kind of read that play a little bit better because I believe it was Darnell. I could be wrong. You guys would probably know, but he kind of took away his shot opportunity, so I kind of knew it had to go somewhere, and I was able to come up with a save, it's always a good feeling to make saves like that. I mean, he's a dangerous player. It's my first time ever playing Nashville, and they have some incredible skill, actually. He gets the puck to the net, but he's smart about it too. He picks his spots, picks the right time, so he made it really difficult on me tonight.
Stuart, I know you guys, the ultimate goal is to win a Stanley Cup here, but what would it mean to tie that record and potentially break that record for this group? Of the win streak?
It would be great. It would feel good for a moment, and then you realize that you got a game the next day or the next 2 days later. So that's kind of how it is. Like you definitely want to enjoy those moments and celebrate those wins. But there's a lot more work to be had.
Bigger picture question about you. How would you evaluate last season? You played a lot down the stretch. Energy management, how you felt in the playoffs. Do you apply any lessons learned or anything to what's going to happen from here on out this year?
I think last year, especially in the playoffs, if you want to go back that far, I think it wasn't much of an energy issue or anything like that. We definitely did a great job on my energy levels, and I think we're doing a great job now. That's also a lot up to me and how I treat myself, how I eat, how I hydrate, and all that stuff. So we got a great facility here, great people working for us, and nutritionists. We got the nines to everything. So I'm in a good spot to get my rest, get my recoveries, and play as much as I can. I like I've said before, I'd play every game if I could.
So you're good with 60-plus starts and feeling like that?
I'm good with 82 and keep going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I wonder if the brass feels the same way, but Stuart Skinner playing his 34th game of the season, and he got the job done again tonight. They took away a shot from the Preds, so he ends up with 28 saves instead of 29 and picks up his 23rd victory of the season in game number 34, and is going to get some time away. So those that are curious if he's going to be well rested when he returns, off to somewhere sunny and warm, YouTube, Trev, which sounds lovely.
I mean, that's the ideal situation. I imagine almost every Oiler wish they could say that they're going, on a nice sunny vacation, Connor and Leon. But I don't think that'll be the case for them, maybe in their entire NHL careers. But so it's nice. He deserves a nice relaxing. He says he might go golfing. He deserves it. That'll be nice. Hopefully, he keeps. It'll be cool to see what he posts, and I'm sure Oilers fans will be all over that wherever he is. So,
Jim Loves the Mountain says Stewie Skins with the record wins. John Cuppers says sloppy and chaotic at times, but still a big win. Hard fought 60 minutes. Great win. Skinner solid again. And then Kurt wants Cass to say a swear word for us. And Cass doesn't really swear that much, although on the ice when he played, I'm sure he did quite a bit. All right, we have one more bit of audio and video to get to. We also need to take care of some business with the player of the game. We'll wrap up with some texts too. Let's check in on what Chris Noblock had to say as his team picks up a 4-1 victory over the Nashville Predators.
When the Oilers become the third team in NHL history with 16 straight wins. I know you guys say you don't talk about the streak, but one away from tying the NHL record. Any thoughts on that?
We know about the streak only because you guys have talked about it. You bring it up, you ask us in these questionnaires or in the media. But I honestly, we don't talk about it in the room. Maybe it's on our minds a little bit, but as boring as it sounds, we taking one game at a time, and we're worried about who our next opposition is. And I don't know, it feels good to win any game after it's done, and you coming in after a victory. Those feel good, and it doesn't matter how many it's been in a row.
Yeah, and a lot has been said about your guys' defensive game over the last little while here. Lots of talk about Matthias Ekholm, lots of talk about Evan Bouchard, but what about Vinny Desharnais? How have you seen his game over the stretch?
Vinny's had a huge impact on our success of our team for many reasons, and a lot of it is our turnaround in the penalty kill. Our penalty kill's been very good, and our forwards have been doing their jobs, getting great pressure up ice. Janmark and Brown especially on the forecheck. In the defensive zone, there's been a lot of block shots from guys like Nurse, CC, X, and Desi also. And Desi's he's a big body, so his big body takes up a lot of space, but his reach, he gets his stick on so many pucks and breaks them up. And when he can't get his stick on a puck, he's sliding and breaking up plays like he did tonight. So we've been very happy with this play.
What were your thoughts on Corey Perry's play tonight and maybe the line as well?
Very happy with that line. We kind of thought that that's what we were going to go with. And, with Corey playing with those two speedsters, they get around the ice pretty well and are able to transport the puck, get it up ice. But Corey's so slick around the net. He's got that touch, and he had some nice little tricky shots where the goalie made nice saves where otherwise he would have surprised him. Now it's up to Clowder and Dylan to go to the net and be prepared that expect that puck coming to you, because most guys wouldn't be able to do it, but he has that ability to make those plays.
Connor alluded to the fact that maybe not your best games here, but you're pulling wins out of these games. It seems when you need to flip that switch, your team is able to access it and flip that switch. How valuable is that?
Well, we're winning games, and a lot of it is keeping the goals against down. That's 5-on-5. That's a lot has to do with the penalty kill and goaltending. Goaltending's been spectacular. 10 out of 10 almost every single night, where I don't know when the last time a bad goal went in. They've been just very solid. And the other part of it is special teams. Special teams is often the difference of winning and losing games. I don't know when the last time we lost to special teams battles. Like, there's been times during this stretch where they've been tied, but I don't recall the last time we've lost, so that's definitely helped us win hockey games.
Chris, what?
All right, there was Chris Noblock, a lot more satisfied with his team's overall performance tonight compared to what we saw against Columbus and Chicago. So breath of fresh air, relief, whatever you want to call it. He appreciates what his team was able to accomplish this afternoon against the Nashville Predators. And yes, indeed, Noblock picking up yet another victory in his short tenure as coach of the Edmonton Oilers. His record, YouTube Trev, improves to 26-6. More fingers and toes than you even have on your body.
That's impressive, man.
Isn't that impressive?
Yeah, like obviously in the long haul, in the long run, it's going to go down, I imagine a fair bit. But like to start off, it's just... It's an incredible story, and it kind of makes you feel bad for what happened and the coaching change, and it's like we as fans always knew this team could be like this, right? And for whatever reason, it just wasn't working. So coaching change happens. And, then they start playing way, way better. So you feel bad. I still think about that quite often, but huge props to Noblock. And, I love what he's doing every game, Tommy. He might be a player of the game one of these nights. I'm not even joking.
Really?
With some of the decisions that he makes late in the game, whether, he's changing, makes tiny little changes. It seems to work, and it's working right now. So huge credit to, Noblock and all the coaching staff.
All right. Speaking of the player of the game, I think we need to get to that right now. Let's take care of business, as it is the Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game, brought to you by Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or on Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube, Trev, do your thing.
Yeah, so I feel bad. Conor McDavid, obviously, with a 4-point night. Unusual nights, I'd give it to him. But Leon Draisaitl, he got the 800 points, and that's kind of a milestone. And he did okay as well tonight. Yeah, right? Like, that's not bad, eh? That's not bad. So
not bad.
He did good in his own right tonight with 1 goal and 2 assists. This is a team he's just absolutely toyed with over the last 5 years. It's been super impressive to watch. So we kind of said we expected these two to score, and both of them did tonight. But Leon Draisaitl, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I remember when the Oilers drafted him way back in 2014. It was the Ekblad draft, and Leon Draisaitl, the Oilers, he falls to third. I'm like, I didn't really know much of the guy at the time. I was still pretty young, but it's just, if you could go back in the draft, it's one of those things where he'd be the consensus number, the first overall pick right now. Probably.
Ooh.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like there's
with what we know.
Yeah, like David Pasternak's in there as well, but I mean, Leon Draisaitl, no one in that draft has a heart. Leon does, right? Art Ross as well. So they're going to need this guy to be huge, and as of late, he's been very huge. So call him what you want. The Deutschland Dangler, Neon Leon, German Gretzky. He is the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. Good job, Leon.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Very good stuff. YouTube, Trev. Let's wrap up with a couple of texts here. Spency 5 cents. He says 6 o'clocker lager, an excellent shower beer. Dell wants to know if there's an update on the Vegas giveaway. I believe that's happening after the boys and myself return from the trip. We will be giving away a trip to Vegas in conjunction with the Edmonton International Airport, or YEG. I know they've kind of rebranded as YEG. And so that's when that'll happen. We're going to give that away to a lucky listener or viewer. So keep your eyes and ears peeled on that one. Trev, I'm going to read this one. Add it to the board on our map. Says Nate RTA grad reporting from Conroe, Texas. You could tell we're winning because almost no one's mad at Connor Brown. Touche. Trev, any others you want to get to?
No, Tommy, that's about it. It's going to be interesting. We have the Oilers are off, and that kind of means so are we for the next little bit. Well, as far as the pre and post goes. So, it's crazy. They go into this stretch with just a historic run, franchise run, whatever way you look at it. It's been so fun to watch and so fun to cover, and it's all because of you guys, really. The nasties, everyone that's chiming in. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, and you guys are absolutely crushing it, just like the Oilers are. So it's a lot of fun. The vibes are excellent, and here's hoping they come out of the stretch and it's back to business.
I like good vibes. I'm going to end it with this last text. Comes in from Ducky. He said, would you still look to add anything to this group or keep the mojo tight? That one from Ducky. Ducky, earlier today on Hello Hockey, we had our Hello Hockey insider, David Pagnotta, from the fourth period. Also dropped a hint that the Oilers are probably looking to add another veteran forward to the bottom six. I asked some people about it. I got some brushback pitches, so maybe that means they're working on something. But Pagnotta did get the Corey Perry signing. He was the one who broke it. And so Perry making his debut tonight. The Oilers getting a win. Skinner another victory. 16 in a row. That'll do it for the Oil Stream post-game show. A big thank you to everyone who tuned in, texted in, smash that thumbs up button, all that good stuff. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. For YouTube, Trev and Matty Cassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night. See ya on Monday.